Back here at on the Highlight Activity Network. Oh, having fun on the second to last show of Coach's Corner here on the Highlight Activity Network, live on YouTube. We appreciate you joining us on this Wednesday evening. And, of course, that means postseason as we're talking late May. And the tennis postseason gets started tomorrow. And that'll be in Fargo with the team tournament. Individual will be Friday and Saturday. And we are joined by a couple of members of the Highliner tennis team, the EDC Conference champion Highliner tennis team, Breck Suffolk and Abby Martinick. And Breck, I'll start with you. When someone says, hey, Highliner Conference champion Highliner tennis team, how does that make you feel?
It feels really good. I never thought I'd get to experience something like this, so it's a pretty unreal feeling.
How about for you, Abby?
It feels really good. We have a lot of good players, and we're all really proud of ourselves for doing it. So.
Well, you had Cheyenne. The team was undefeated going into that last match that you had to win. I guess the mindset coming in, Breck, is as a player, you're thinking, okay, let's just do what we got to do. What's kind of your mindset going into that last match?
I try to keep myself calm, especially with the team. You know, it's not really good to overthink before a match, so you kind of just go in and we were the underdogs during that time, so it was kind of just let loose and go play.
Knowing that the target was probably on Cheyenne's back and not yours, is that kind of your mindset too, Abby? The pressure's all on them.
Yeah, I kind of figured that the match could go either way. I knew that going in, so I was just trying to keep a positive attitude and getting ready to just play my best tennis.
And I know I'll talk with Coach Nielsen about this, but down 2-1 after doubles, and you had to come back and have strong singles, and won 5 out of the 6 singles to win 6-3, I believe was the overall final. Again, Breck, for you, think of that. We got to come from behind and do this against a very good team on their court. Does that impress you a little bit of what you guys were able to do?
It does. I know our bottom singles are really strong, so I had faith in them, but it was kind of a nerve-wracking feeling after losing 2 out of 3 out of the doubles, yeah.
And you talk about the bottom singles, the depth of this team, Abby. I mean, yeah, if 1 or 2 loses, 3, 4, and 5 can step up. Does that make it a little bit easier too, and a little more relaxed, knowing you've got good players back behind you?
Yeah, I have a lot of confidence in every match in especially our lower singles. So if I know that I lose, I have that team, those people to come back for us.
Well, now we got the team tournament tomorrow. Starts tomorrow on against Fargo South. I guess now the target's on you guys. I guess you'd have to say the shoe's on the other foot. Mindset going into tomorrow's match with Fargo South, Breck, knowing anything can really happen, even though they're a number 8 seed.
Yeah, you got to just keep a positive mindset going in. Obviously, like you said, anything can happen, so just being aware of that and just keeping a positive mindset throughout.
And having fun too, Abby, is that a key for you guys?
Yeah, if I don't have fun, then it doesn't go well.
Your mind kind of goes, uh-oh.
Yeah.
Okay, now let's talk about your, because you two more than likely, we don't know yet, seedings aren't out yet for the individual and doubles, but possibly you two are going to be matched up as doubles partners. Talk about your game, Abby. How would you describe your game?
I'm really aggressive at the net. I like coming into the net more than being at the baseline, so I can put away points and stuff like that. So I'm an aggressive net player.
How about you, Breck?
I'd say I'm a very aggressive player. Sometimes I get a little too impatient when I'm at the baseline, so trying to mix it up and come to the net also is a good strength of both of us.
So how do you complement one another going in? If you're both going to be aggressive, is there a way that you can complement one another as doubles partners?
We really like coming up to the net together. We work well, we move well, so it's a lot scarier on the other side of the net when you have us two at the net. So yeah.
How about serving? How about your serve? Do you feel you've got a pretty good serve there?
Yeah, I'm pretty confident in both of our serves, but I have a pretty good serve. Yeah.
Consistent.
Mm-hmm.
Are you consistent getting that first serve in?
Yes, we both, I'd say, are pretty well consistent with our serves. Yeah.
How about when you're going into a match, and this is whether you're singles or as doubles, do you kind of have to think as the match progresses? I'll start with you, Breck. You know how your opponent's playing, and maybe does that have to change how you approach the match?
Yes. We have to change how we play according to how our opponents are playing. So if what we're doing is working well, then we'll continue at it. But if they're catching on, we got to change our style of game.
So how about for you too, Abby? Is that in your mindset that you just kind of go on the fly as you progress?
Yeah, making sure that we're communicating to each other on changeovers and in between points on what they're doing and if they're catching on to what we're doing and how we have to change our game to match theirs.
Because obviously you can talk with your coaches during breaks, but it's really going to be you two conversing. Do you converse on the court too as the match is going on?
Yep, pretty much all the time. Yeah.
Yeah, between every point, we usually tell each other like if we want to poach, if we want to stay. We always try to have like plan for each point before it happens. Yeah.
Final question for you ladies. We've got Coach Nielsen will be coming in here momentarily, but just going into the EDC, you'd still need to be relaxed, right? Even though you're the top seed, is that going to be a key to just go out there and relax and just see what happens?
Yeah, just we got to let loose. I mean, whatever happens, happens. Anything can happen. So we just got to keep a positive mindset and just have fun.
Win 2 before you lose 2.
Yes.
That's that's the key. And then for you too, Abby, chance to maybe get into state. You won as a team, but get in as a doubles or as doubles because you'll be doubles here this weekend. How would that be for you too?
I'm really excited. I mean, I'm ready to play my best and just give it my all and have fun.
See what happens.
Yep.
All right. Well, I appreciate it. Again, Breck Suffolk, Abby Martinick, 2 members of the Highliner Eastern Dakota Conference champion tennis team. And again, they will start with Fargo South in the team competition tomorrow, individual and doubles Friday and Saturday. We've got Coach Nielsen coming up here to talk more tennis for the Highliners as Coach's Corner continues from the Hack on the Highliner Activity Network. Back here on Coach's Corner from the Hack here on the Highliner Activity Network, continuing with the Highliner tennis team, the Eastern Dakota Conference champion Highliner tennis team, and Coach Matt Nielsen joining. Congratulations, Coach. EDC champs.
Wow, that's unreal. I mean, we had some really good teams in the past. In about 2015, we had one heck of a team, and we still ended up finishing 3rd. So when that happens, like, man, it is tough row to hoe to ever be a champion. And I didn't know at that point if in my coaching career it was going to happen, because you're always playing against the Red Rivers and the Cheyennes and the Davies. So to make this happen, this team to finish the way they did was just surreal.
You had said in your 34 years, boys and girls coaching, 2 things happened that hadn't happened before for you.
Yes, in one match it happened. So we haven't been a EDC regular season champ, so that happened on the Cheyenne match. But we've been always really doubles heavy because we coach doubles well, and we've always if we're going to win a match, usually we won 2 out of 3 doubles, or we won all 3 doubles, and then we just finished it off in singles. But this one, going in, I thought we had a shot to win all 3 doubles. We ended up losing 2 of them, and that made it a real challenge. Like, oh my gosh, what's going to happen here? So we were down 1-2, and we had 4 singles come out and win. And so it was the first time in my coaching career, and like you said, the 34 different seasons, that we've actually came back from a 1-2 deficit in doubles to then win 4 singles or more to win the match. So that was crazy.
And Abby Redfern really had a great match, and hers was pivotal.
Oh yeah, Abby Redfern had a heck of a match. She played exactly the way she needed to, but she did lose. So it was beginning of the year, we had the bottom of the conference, kind of our schedule right away. So we start off with like 5-0 or whatever it was. Then we played Central, Red River, and Davies, and Abby Redfern couldn't find a winning way in those 3 matches. So she was basically 0-3 coming in against the EDC number 1. And she played some very consistent tennis. She played determined tennis. She kept herself calm out there. She knew it was exactly what on the line. Like, she knew that, like, when I came out there, she's like, we're down 3-4, aren't we? I go, yeah, all right. And then she just kept playing her game and came out with the win. And it was a huge pivotal win, because without that one, we already lost the match. So junior Abby Redfern, like, she set that EDC title right up.
And I think you and I have talked about this before, about this team, the depth of this team. If number 1, number 2 singles, if they have an off match, an off day, and lose 3, 4, and 5, a lot of times those 3, 4, and 5s are what helped you win a match.
Well, and if you look at our team, like our practices are very high level because our numbers 1 through 7, numbers 1 through 8, like all of them could be in the same drill and it doesn't hamper a drill. So I mean, like the coaches usually use the word a drill buster. We have no drill busters in our top 8, so we can play high competitive tennis in practice, which makes our team even better moving forward. So it's great having 1 through 8 that can play the game.
Now, this is where strategy now comes into play, doesn't it, with these 3-2 scenarios, and you can only play doubles or singles.
Yep. So regular season, we play 6 singles and 3 doubles, and players can play both. But when we go to postseason, we play the full team tournament tomorrow. So win or lose at 9 a.m. or at 10 a.m.'s first match at Courts Plus, we play right after that. Win or lose that match, we play the one after that, and so it's so you play the whole tournament in one day, and it's a 3-2 lineup, which is 3 singles and 2 doubles, but you only can play singles or doubles, not both. So the rules are that your 1 doubles has to be better than your 2, and your 1 singles is better than your 2 singles is better than your 3 singles. But other than that, you can mix people around.
Right.
So you have to look at what your team is good at. You have to look at what your opponent might do or what you think they're going to do, and then you have to line up your matchup to try to beat them. And so a lot of times it's a lot of times the better team usually. I mean, if you are by far the better team, you usually still win. But when you get really close, and if you look at the EDC, we beat Central. Sorry, we lost to Central, the 4 seed 5-4. We beat Red River barely 5-4. We beat Davies 5-4. We beat Cheyenne 5-4. So we have 5 really good teams, and we're just one of the 5. So, like, if anybody goes, man, the Highlanders are going to win the EDC the tournament title too, like, no, it's got to be earned. Someone tomorrow is going to go out and earn that. It could be us. It could be somebody else. We could make it to the EDC championship match. We could lose before that and have to play in a state qualifier. Like, everything's on the table because how close the EDC is this year. And you even can't count out Shanley because Shanley we beat Shanley 6-3. Yeah. We might see them if we have them in a state qualifier. They beat us at 1-2-3 singles. So I mean, we even have a 6th team that is a legit shot to go to state too. So I mean, it's been very awesome tennis and high quality tennis all year long, and we're gonna have a lot of fun tomorrow. And we got to come out and we got to play loose and just be ready to go and just 1 point at a time and see what we can do.
And you talk about you look at the East. The East has been really is a strong tennis. Is the stronger of the 2 regions in A Class
Yep.
A.
And it's kind of flipped back and forth. It's been the East for many, many years. We did have a year, 2 years ago, where the West was stronger. And if you look this year, I would say that they're probably neck and neck for the East and the West. But Minot is going to be the one to knock off. So no matter who comes out of the East, like Minot's definitely the favorite going in the state tournament.
Well, the seedings won't come out until Friday, for tomorrow for that individual. Is this where you look at scores as the year has gone on and kind of maybe see if you can predict what happens?
Yep, and we do that a lot as we look at what we believe people are going to go, because in the individual tournament you can play singles or doubles again, just so it's one or the other. So if we have our top 4 go doubles, but every other team has their top 4 go doubles. Now it's going to be a crazy loaded doubles tournament, which was last season. We had 7 stout teams in the doubles, and this year, looking at how we're mixing people around and what I can see, what I think other teams are going to do, we put our individuals in the best spot to try to finish the highest. But we can't divulge what kind of lineup we're going to have, because then other people will know what we're doing. So it's a blind lineup, and it makes it a lot of fun. And if you're not involved in tennis, I think it probably just seems really weird. But
for you as a coach and your staff, you've got a good problem. You've got a lot of good players.
We got 7 kids who can play the game. So even if I mean, all the way through our number 6, it's not like our number 6 singles couldn't pull off some upsets and force a state qualifier. And if that person's not playing well, I mean, it's not be crazy, but like a number 6 singles in Valley could qualify top 8. I mean, it's not out of the question, but like I said, we're all that close together. So I mean, we could do that, or we could lose out, but we just got to be ready to play and have a lot of fun.
Fargo South first stop tomorrow, and then the 2 Red River, the 2 Grand Forks schools are in that bracket, so you'll get one of them in that, regardless if you go left, if you go right in the bracket.
Either way, we'll have one of the Grand Forks teams, and like I said, they're pretty good, and we kind of have a lineup figured out for one of them. The other one, though, we think we caught them at on a weird day. So we're gonna have to I've been looking at the results from other matches, and then also I'm gonna be looking at the results from the opening round when they played each other to then determine a lineup, and the girls know that what our lineup's going to be for the morning. And then I gave them a couple possible lineups in the second round, but we won't make that determination until the first round's completed, and then we have a blind sealed lineup. They have a blind sealed lineup, and then they're shown at the same time. So I don't know what they're doing. They don't know what we're doing. And once it's out there, then it's you 5 matches got to go play. Whatever team can get 3 wins gets to move on.
They're kept in a mayonnaise jar in the back room.
That'd probably be as efficient as what we do. So,
But Fargo South is first. We don't want to get ahead of ourselves. That's first and foremost the 8th seed tomorrow.
Yep, and they were the 9 seed, and they went down to Wapaton
Yep.
and won the play-in match 3-2. We did beat them 9-0 in the regular season. We can't get ahead of that one, but we got a lineup where we think we got a shot to win all 5. So if we can just play loose and ready and just need 3 out of the 5, but I think we have a shot to. I mean, the way that I think they're going to line up with this, I think we have a shot to win all 5. But like you said, you need 3 of the 5, and we can just move on to the next one.
Final question for you, Matt. Are these young ladies not worried about that hashtag #1 that's in front of their name going into tomorrow?
I don't think so. I think we talked a lot about how we're Valley City and we're still an underdog. I go all the matches that we won 5-4. They could have gone the other way, and I go we're still the underdog. We don't have the year-long player that's getting a lot of the lessons at Courts Plus. We don't graduate 500 kids a year.
Yeah.
So I go, we're still the underdog. So we just have to go in and the phrase I like to use is you have to detach yourself from winning. If you looking ahead and you're like, I have to win, then you can't let your body play.
Yeah.
So you have to be okay with losing, but at the same time, this point I can focus on. This point I can give 100%. Because if you're okay with losing the match, you can stay loose. As soon as you start going, I can't lose this match, that's when you start pushing, and that's when the word choke comes into play.
Okay.
So we try to go, nope, we're going to just do everything we can do. Positive attitude, 100% effort, sportsmanship, communication, breathe between points, and then play your style of tennis each point. Don't worry about the outcome of the match. Just focus on this point and this point only.
And play Highliner tennis.
Highliner tennis. We play a lot of consistent tennis and doubles. We play a lot of go attack the ball at the net, and it's been working.
All right. Well, Coach, congratulations on the conference champ regular season. Now let's go after it tomorrow for the postseason.
We'll go for it. That's for sure.
All right. Congratulations. Thanks, Matt.
All right. Thank you.
You bet. Coach Matt Nielsen of the Highlander tennis team. We're back with more. We're going to talk golf as the Highlander golf team getting ready for their postseason coming up. That's on the way next as Coach's Corner continues from the Hack on the Highlander Activity Network. Back here on Coach's Corner here on the Highliner Activity Network. Now we are going to move to the Lynx, the Highliner golf team, as their postseason here is getting, I think next week is going to be the EDC tournament that is going on at Oxbow. But before we get to that, a couple of tournaments. Since last time we had a chance to talk, Trevor Hansen joining us from the Highliner golf team. And most recently, the team was at the Meadows here on Monday night. And one of your better rounds as a team. I think just a couple of strokes away from being your best round as a team.
Yeah, we shot 374, I believe, and actually at Perham Lakeside we shot a 364, I think it was, which is our best round. But that was a par 71, I believe, playing. So it was a few strokes, or a stroke easier, but times 4 is 4 strokes. 374 was a decent round. Isaiah Schuldeis had a very good round, 89. That's his best ever. I think his previous best was 97, so he beat that by, or maybe 98. So he beat that by 8 or 9 strokes. And Andrew Tangen's still playing well. He's just on that 84, ish, 83, 84, 85. He shot 84. Missed state qualifying by 5 strokes. That was a state qualifier, and it was a beautiful day. It was a little hot, but it was barely any wind, and a links course, with no wind, and it was gettable. So little unfortunate, he triple bogeyed his second hole, and that, mentally that can take you out. And I tried to get after him and let him know, it's okay. I mean, you can still do this. You just got to make pars. And he missed a couple birdies coming down the stretch, a couple short birdie putts, and he's playing well. He's doing fine. His first year again of varsity golf technically, and he's played a lot of golf. So
yeah, I talked to Grandma Mary Tangen on Saturday, and she said he's tough on himself. He shot a good round, but he's still critical. But is that a good thing though, that that they know that they left some strokes out on the course?
Yeah, I mean, room for improvement. I mean, he can improve, and he can get better, and as all of them can, and we can play better than we did. We had a couple of older kids that have been playing pretty well, struggled a little bit that day, and that 89 from Isaiah kind of made up for their little bit of struggles. But yeah, we're close, and Andrew's close, and he's hard on himself, but that's okay. As long as he's not frustrated and breaking clubs and doing silly stuff, which he's not. But he knows he's better than probably what he's played. I mean, although he's played pretty well. So. And
out of those, let's just say those 5 strokes that he just missed qualifying, where's he can pick them up on the green, maybe short game, and where would he be able to kind of pick up those 5 strokes?
Yeah, I would mostly say probably chipping. And then there's a couple of putts in there that if they fall, or if he said he did miss a pretty close one, a 2 or 3 footer that was, not a tap in, but one that you should make. And so I think it's mostly going to be the short game. His driver's been really good. He hits the ball long ways, very long ways actually. And he hits his irons quite a ways as well. So he usually has, not short irons, but shorter irons into the greens. And yeah, I think he can probably pick them up on the chipping and then the putting, and then some of those 30, 40-yard shots. We don't hit many of those because usually he's hitting it pretty close to the green, but mostly short game.
Well, now here on, is it tomorrow, you go to Rose Creek in Fargo, and that's the second to last because you'll have the EDC tournament, but this is another EDC, a state qualifier here on Thursday.
Not a state qualifier,
EDC.
But just an EDC meet.
Yep,
EDC meet. We get 3 qualifiers, 2 that we can kind of pick as coaches.
Okay.
So we kind of find a course that's not the most difficult course and not the easiest course, and then which ones are going to have good weather.
Yeah.
So we're trying to get one that's, not raining, not cold, not windy, or at least only one of those factors in there. And the 2 days were Kings Walk and the Meadows, which are both links courses. Yeah. And those are the ones we set kind of at the beginning of the year. It'd give the kids a few rounds to get in before they had to play the state qualifier. And then and we had, those 2 days were beautiful. One was 75 and no wind on a links course is awesome. And then the other one was pretty warm, but great days. And Andrew just missed her by a couple strokes each time. So he can do it. Although the third qualifier is EDC, which is at Oxbow, we played yesterday, actually, a practice round. Me and the 6 EDC guys, and it's a beautiful course, but it's pretty hard. It's lots of water and lots of lots of hazards, but Andrew shot 87 yesterday, and you know, he left some strokes out there yesterday. We were just kind of trying to navigate around the course and find out where you can hit it and where you should hit it and what you can hit off the tee and that type of stuff. So I think Wednesday next week, be Wednesday next week, a week from today, we play EDC at Oxbow. So I think he'll be ready. He's a hard worker.
What kind of course is Rose Creek? Well, I played it a few times, but that was 30 years ago. But what can you expect here at Rose Creek tomorrow?
It's changed a lot. I think Rose Creek is actually it's not a hard course, but it's not an easy course. They got a couple holes that are pretty daunting. Hole number 3 is a super long par 5, surrounded by water on the left all the way to about 100 yards out, and then there's water that starts at about 250 out and then kind of goes around the right corner. So you kind of got to hit it in the fairway. There really is no rough. It's really water on both sides. The backside's been kind of riddled with some water flood damage and stuff like that. So they've moved some stuff around. But yeah, I mean, I think it would be nice. Andrew shoots maybe in the 70s tomorrow to kind of push himself to be that. Rose Creek's a very nice course. It's a public course, but it's very nice. Rolled greens, hard, fast greens, nice, tight fairways, and it's always kept nice. They spend some dough there to make that place look good, but not overly difficult. Usually plays a little longer than other courses, about 6,600, probably 6,700 yards, which is a little longer than some of the other courses. I think we played the Meadows at 6,350 or 6,400. So,
well, now with you mentioned getting to be a state qualifier, and that Andrew had missed it by 5 strokes. Do you have to be in the top 10, top 20? Do you have to have a certain score? What qualifies you for state?
Yeah, state qualifying in golf is you have to be 7 over the medalist, or you have to be 7 over par if the medalist is at par or under par. And there was a bunch of guys under par at the Meadows. There was two guys that shot 4 under, and 2 guys that shot 3 under. So then it just goes off a par 72, and you got to shoot 7 over that. So you got to shoot 79 or less. So I'm expecting at EDC that someone's going to shoot even par, but it's a tough course. So and depending upon conditions, who knows if it's going to be windy or rainy or cold or warm or whatever. It could be an over par situation where maybe somebody shoots 73 and then you got to only shoot 80. So it's 7 over the medalist or 7 over par if the medalist is at par or better.
So now we've already talked about we've talked about Andrew, we've talked about Isaiah, but you got Espen Kunze, senior Ethan Bear, just some of you guys that that have the ability to step up their game and get into the maybe mid to low 90s. Do you feel those guys are right there, getting on the cusp of getting in there? You got junior Owen Struble that's been improving as the season's been going on. How about some of those guys? Yeah,
Ethan Bear actually yesterday shot 93 at the Meadows, which is pretty good. He definitely left some shots out there too. Ethan has steadily improved all year, and he played a lot of golf when he was younger, and then he kind of stepped away from golf a little bit, and that's what's taken him a little while to get back in. But the more he plays, the better he's getting, and it's just too bad it's his senior year, and we're just getting kind of rolling, and now we're gonna finish. So, but definitely he could shoot in the 80s. Espen, I know, can shoot. He shot 91 earlier this year. I know he can shoot in the low 90s. Alex Rogelstead, same thing. Isaiah, same thing. Hopefully he can be in that low 90s, and we can get a good team score. Hopefully get our best one of the year.
You always say 360 is the magic number.
We're close.
They're getting very, very close. But so again, tomorrow they'll be at Rose Creek in Fargo, and then you got next week Oxbow, and hopefully we're talking. So that means you won't be on the show next week because you're going to be golfing. You guys will be at the EDC. So hopefully we'll get a report by the time we wrap up.
We'll be home by. Well, I guess I shouldn't say that because they tee off. Well, we'll be teeing off first though, because they tee off 11 back to 1, and then they tee off your kids 6s, 5s, 4, 3, 2, 1. So we should have everybody teed off by 10. We should be home by 5 o'clock, I suppose.
We'll find out.
Yeah.
Hopefully we're talking about at least get a guy into the state tournament. We'll work on that next week.
Yeah, that's in Dickinson, which is not the most wonderful course, but I just hope somebody gets there so we can go. I would be more than happy to take even one guy out there to go and play out there.
All right. Well, again, Trevor, appreciate you stopping by. Good luck here tomorrow at Rose Creek and next week at Oxbow.
Yeah, thank you very much, Paul.
You bet. That is Coach Trevor Hansen joining us from the Highlander golf team. We'll be back in track and field on the way next as we continue Coach's Corner here from the HEC on the Highlander Activity Network. Back here on Coach's Corner on the Highlander Activity Network on this Wednesday evening when we've been talking about EDC meets coming up for golf and tennis. Well, the state meet gets started tomorrow at the Community Bowl in Bismarck for track and field. The track and field championships tomorrow. The Highlanders with 20 athletes. They're going to be going to the State Track and Field Championships. Coach Trevor Bacalar joining us. I know at the beginning of the year you said, well, we'll be in that 10, 12, 15 range.
Yeah,
you got 20, Coach.
Yeah, we're doing pretty good. We're doing pretty good.
A lot of multi-event athletes.
Yeah, absolutely. And that a lot of times we're not in that situation with some of those kids that did qualify in so many events where we have to come back and say, well, you can't do this and you can't do that with the 4 limits. So that was nice, but it also, too, with those relays, what that helped is, they may have qualified this, but now we can have somebody else come and compete because that individual is not able to perform in that event. So,
well, a couple of guys that kind of stood out for me that got in on the boys' side, Dylan Hunt and Isaiah Schultheis qualifying in javelin.
Yeah, at that regional meet there, I thought that they both had that outside chance of placing, and that was in there, and the kids just had to throw consistent. Well, then when they both through qualifying distances, that was amazing, and then that really helped because they can qualify again by that distance, even if they don't place in that top 6. Isaiah had a nice throw practicing after our home meet that we had on the Monday, the Bill Jansen Last Chance, but that doesn't count when you throw afterward, right? So
that doesn't count.
No. But it gave him confidence, which was a big thing. So yeah, they did awesome.
And I think I counted something around 8 of these athletes are seniors. They're going to get a chance on their last hurrah. They're going to get a chance to go to state.
Yeah, it's for some of them they've been there many years, over and over. But yeah, the chance to go compete that one last time in that venue with that crowd, I think is it's a thrill. It's always my favorite time of the year and the favorite meet to go to, and the fact that you get to see our kids compete, other kids, but it's the top kids in the state from A and B, so it's a really great event.
I know, like I said, Regenberg qualified in 4 running, 3 relays. I think the people in Bismarck did ask her to sell popcorn as well, figuring she had some free time on her hands.
Oh, she would. She's an entrepreneur. Yeah, if she could fit it in, she'd do that. But, yeah, she's been just a great performer this season. Going from distance to sprints, and just being able to perform and fit in there. And those distance kids doing some of these sprint things now, they kind of like that little bit of a change. So that's been really good for them. Yeah, we've got, the kids multiple. I think the chances for them to place and be on the podium is pretty high in that 4x2 relay. Relays can be you can flip a coin sometimes because you never know what can happen, and unfortunately people get disqualified or they drop the baton. We've had that happen to us. You know, it happens to other teams. So you just go out there, you perform, you run your race, and then you see what happens.
Well, you've got on the girls, the 2, the 4, the 8 that are qualifying,
And the
and
4
and
by
the 4
1
by
too.
1, and the 4 by 1 I think was the last relay that qualified because that was at
It was
Laney.
the 4x2.
That was the 4x2 was the last one.
Yeah, we did that at the Bill Jansen Last Chance. But those girls ran the 4x1 qualified previously with Karina, but then they ran that race again and qualified, without her. So the kids are performing very well. But yeah, this is the first time in a long time that we've had all 4 relays go. So that was kind of a nice thing too. Yeah.
Are you, anything surprising you right now about how these athletes have handled this year and what they have been able to accomplish?
I spoke a little bit. We had our awards ceremony the other night. I said just their resiliency, from the weather and dealing with, school and dealing with, personal things as well, that these kids have just been able to perform and get out there. And I think part of it is it's kind of like a release, I get to get out there, I get to compete, exerting that energy, and it helps, I think, in some of that recovery. So,
and you had, mentioned the awards last night. Multiple kids won multiple awards. Is it odd to have it before the state meet to have your awards night? Or you're figuring we're going to get it out of the way now?
Yeah, when I first started the head coach, we used to do it following, and it was always nice, but sometimes it was to try to get the crowd in there. Some people wouldn't be there for different reasons, whatever it was. And so we're in school, we get that done, and then we finish with state, and then the season is over. So it's nice to be able to throw the stuff in the room and shut the door. And even though we'll miss it, it's nice to be done sometimes too.
And, of course, with state coming up tomorrow, that means the season is wrapping up. Seniors, a great group of seniors that have been running for you and Coach Bilke and your staff for a lot of years.
Yeah, it's been a while too since we've had such a large group of seniors that have come through. But yeah, these kids have performed all year, and they've been, really that core of our team. People, and I talked last night that they're truly going to be missed. It's going to be weird not having some of them around because they have been around for a long time. 7th graders competing in varsity, and so 4 or 5 years for some of them. It's it's a little different, but we'll get to see some compete too here in Valley when they go to college, and maybe a couple more are thinking about continuing their track and field stuff.
And they may not have their name on the leaderboard, but still they bring something to the team.
Yeah, absolutely. And, we talked about some of that with our awards even last night. We have those kids that are, not always the point getters, but they're that person that you can always count on. They're always there, and they're dependable. And so they lift the team up. They're cheering the team. So they do so many other things rather than just, perform at scoring and things like that.
9 a.m., you get on the bus and head to Bismarck tomorrow.
Yeah, it'll be an early one. We got a little send-off we're going to do. It's nice. We're going to tour the 2 elementary schools and go through and just say, we have kids on the team with principals that are, their parents, and so it'll be nice for them too. And our coach will be coming out later, but Coach Suffolk at Jefferson, we'll get to see him. So
the teacher of the year.
Yeah, teacher of the year, absolutely. Teacher of the year on the staff, and maybe you'll see how javelin goes. He'll be assistant coach of the year too.
Ooh, cross our fingers.
Oh, everyone's hoping for that one.
Cross the fingers on that one. Final thought, Trevor, as you guys get ready for state, just what you feel these kids can accomplish this in the next 3 days.
I think really the kids, if they can perform at the level where they have been and continue to improve like they have been, I think we're going to see quite a few of them on the podium. They've got great opportunities. Sometimes you got to be good, that day, and that's when it really counts. And so, those qualifications are nice where you can get those times or distances ahead of time. It takes pressure off. Well, here it puts a little bit more of that pressure because this is it. So, but I think they're going to do well.
All right, well, congratulations on the season thus far, and good luck to you and the Highlanders this weekend at State.
Thank you.
That is Coach Trevor Bakalarg and 20 athletes heading to the State Track and Field Championships for the Highlanders in Bismarck at the Community Bowl, and it all gets started tomorrow, so we'll recap that on next week's show, how many state champs and how many kids came home with medals. We'll be back, wrap things up on Coach's Corner here from the HEC on the Highlander Activity Network. back here on Coach's Corner, wrapping things up here on the Highliner Activity Network. Of course, now that school's over, activities are just about wrapping up. We just have one Coach's Corner left coming up next Wednesday. And, of course, we'll be recapping softball and baseball. Of course, the baseball team, their season ended last week, finished 4-9, did not get overall, 2-9 in the conference, did not get into the conference tournament. But Highliner softball team, first-year head coach Autumn Perry, their team went 10-10 in conference play. The number 6 seed, they did lose last night in the opening round of the conference tournament, 10-0 to Grand Forks Red River. Now they'll move on and play on Friday against Grand Forks Central. A win there, and they beat Central the last regular season game. So if they win that one, then Saturday it would be a state qualifier for the Highliner softball team, trying to get back to their 8th straight state tournament. The Highliners have been at 7 straight state tournaments. Of course, 2020, that season was taken care of because of COVID. So good luck to Coach Perry and Coach LaRue and Coach Langemo on the Highliner softball team. And they will be continuing the EDC tournament, but we'll be wrapping up all of our spring sports and maybe talking some state tennis as well with our show here next week. We'll be back next Wednesday, 6 o'clock again, right here in the Hack. It's the Coach's Corner from the Highliner Activity Network.